Hey everybody, welcome to Elementary Music Theory Lesson 4. Lesson 4 is going to be all about major scales. If you're working in these books along with the lessons, the information in the green book is page 23 to 33, and in the purple book 25 to 34. You don't need these books, but they're full of good exercises if you want to do it, and you can find them on the internet. Alright, the structure of a major scale. What is a major scale? A scale is a series of notes in succession. Here's the C major scale. Up and down. Now, the major scale is the most common scale. Major scales are always built on the same pattern of tones and semitones, or whole steps and half steps. I want to use both of those terms because a whole step, remember we learned recently, was two half steps. A half step is the closest distance from one note to the next, and a whole step is two half steps. There's always a note in between the two notes of a whole step. Okay, so major scales are always built on this pattern. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Every scale has a letter name and a descriptive name. The letter is the bottom note of the scale and also the top note of the scale. Descriptive name tells you what kind of scale it is, whether it's major or minor, or it's a blues scale, a pentatonic scale. So for example, the D major scale or the C major scale would start and end on C, and it would have this order of whole steps and half steps. Here's the C major scale. If we build a scale starting on C, using the previous pattern of whole steps and half steps, we get the following. Whole step, half step between E and F and G is a whole step, G and A is a whole step, half step. Or you can call them tones and semitones. A tone is a whole step, a semitone is a half step. So either way, it's two different ways of calling whole steps and half steps. If we build a scale starting on B flat using this same pattern, we get this. B flat C, C to D is a whole tone or a whole step, D to E. Now D to E, we can't go D to E because we need a semitone here or a half step, so we've got to go to E flat. And it's got to be the next letter name after D. You can't go D, D sharp, because in a scale, in a major scale, you don't say the same letter name twice. So D, E something, E flat. Now we got to have a whole tone, F. From E flat to F is a whole tone, F to G is a whole tone, G to A is a whole tone. Now we need a semitone. We're back at B flat where we started. So you cannot start on B flat and end on a different note. You always start and end on the same note. So when we build a scale starting on B flat using that pattern of whole steps and half steps or tones and semitones, we get a scale with two flats, B flat and E flat, and that's the B flat major scale. If we build a scale starting on E using that same pattern of tones and semitones, we get a scale with four sharps. So we start on E, now we got to have a whole tone with the name F. So that's, if we just go to F, that's a semitone, so we got to go to F sharp. A whole tone above F sharp is G sharp. Now we need a semitone above G sharp is A. A whole tone we need again. A whole tone above A is B. A whole tone above B is not C because that's a semitone. C sharp. Whole tone above C sharp is D sharp. And a semitone above D sharp is E. And we use that pattern starting on E, and we get a scale with four sharps. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. Those are the four sharps of E major. Now, key signatures. What is a key signature? If you take all of the sharps and you put them at the beginning of the staff, right after the treble clef or the bass clef, you get a key signature. Remember we said E major had four sharps. When we built the scale on E, it had four sharps. So instead of writing sharp in front of every single note, we put the sharps at the beginning. And this is F, C, G, D. Key signatures are always put in the same place. You never put it at a different, you put it on the top F line, the third C space, above the staff for G, that's where the G note goes, and then the fourth line is a D sharp. And it always goes in that order, F, C, G, D. If we put a key signature for B flat major, remember we studied B flat major just a moment ago, and it had two flats, B and E. So if you collect the flats at the beginning, B flat and E flat, you get something called a key signature. And that means that every B and every E must be played flat. Here, this means that every F, C, G, and D must be played sharp. That's what a key signature does. It collects all the sharps and tells you which notes to play sharp, or here, in B flat, which notes to play flat. Here are the four sharp key signatures. The order of the first four sharps is F, C, G, D. G G major has one sharp. So the G major scale has one sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Here's the key signature of G major written on the grand staff. F. Has just one F sharp. D major has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. F sharp and C sharp. A major has three sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. And E major, we already studied, has four sharps, F, C, G, D. And here it is in the bass clef, F, C, G, D. Now sharps always go in this order, F, C, G, D. You can't have a key signature with just a D sharp in it. It's impossible. If there's one sharp, it's always F. If there's two sharps, it's always F and C. Three sharps, F, C, G. Four sharps, F, C, G, D. You don't have just an indiscriminate sharp. If it's one, it's only going to be F. If it's two, it's going to be F and C, etc. So that is the order of the sharps, F, C, G, D. Here are the flat key signatures. The order of the flats is B, E, A, D. This is the first four flats. F, the scale of F major has one flat, B flat, and this is what its key signature looks like on the B line and the B line in the bass. We studied the B flat scale and we know it has two flats, B and E. There it is, B and E. There's the key signature for B flat major. E flat major has three flats. There they are. A flat major has four flats. And remember, the way we figure this out is we build a scale, a major scale starting on A flat, and we go tone, tone, semitone, our whole step, half step, whole step, half step. And that gives us this order of flats. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. And you can build a scale on any note, and it'll tell you what the key signature will be. Now, sometimes we give degree names to scales. Every note or scale degree has a specific name. The first note of any scale is called the tonic. So here's the D major scale, so D is the tonic. We have a tonic at the beginning and a tonic at the end because it descends. Then the fourth note is called the subdominant, and the fifth note is the dominant. Dominant, subdominant makes sense. Sub means below, so the fourth is below the fifth, so subdominant is below the dominant. So these are all marked off. Tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic, subdominant. And we go up. There's the D major scale, and those notes are shown for you. So those are three common names. So always the tonic is the first note of the scale. That's most important. The dominant is the second most important. It's the fifth note of the scale, and then the subdominant is the fourth note of the scale. Writing scales. We can write a scale using a key signature. So if you write a scale using a key signature, you put the sharps at the beginning. Here's the bass clef, and we got an F sharp and a C sharp because we're going to write the D major scale. And then you write from D all the way up to D and back down again. And that's the D major scale. You can also write the D major scale using accidentals. That means not using a key signature. So then you have to put the sharps in front of the note. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. And remember, the rule of sharps, you don't have to write them on the way down because they're still sharp. This is still C sharp, and this is still F sharp on the way down. Unless there was a bar line, that would cancel and we'd have to write sharps again. But the C and the F are still sharp here. Okay, some more Italian terms. These Italian terms deal with style. Now, how to play something. If you see the word cantabile, it means to play in a singing style. Dolce means to play sweet or gentle. Fine is the end of a piece of music. So that's not really a style, but that just means you're done, finished, the end. Grazioso means graceful. Maestoso means majestic. Mano destra, right hand. Mano sinistra, left hand. Marcato, marked or stressed. You play it strongly, marked or stressed. These are all different musical terms that you need to know as you study music. So I hope everyone's enjoyed this lesson, and we'll look forward to seeing you in lesson 5.